It's another Fucktard Friday. It's time for another Retail Rant podcast. But first, let's get some shout-outs out of the way. First up, I want to thank the Grime Lords. Of course, they are the newest addition to the Couch Party app, but I can tell you right now, the guys are an absolute blast to listen to. So much fun to interact with on Twitter. I'm proud to have them as part of the Couch Party crew, even though I had absolutely nothing to fucking do with it whatsoever. So, Grime Lords, check them out. Great show. Second up is Mandy and Cassie from the Mixed Feelings podcast. Now, I'm going to tell you it's a good show, but all I'm going to give you is the very first line in their intro on Twitter, okay? And this will cause you to fall in love with them right off the bat, especially if you listen to this fucking show. So, two foul-mouthed mixed girls bringing the motherfucking laughs. Truth in advertising, folks. You have to appreciate it. So, Grime Lords, Mixed Feelings Podcast, thanks to you guys for your support. Everybody who listens to this show, when you get done, get over, subscribe, check it out. You'll thoroughly enjoy yourself. So on that note, let's go ahead and kick the rant off this week. And as always, be sure to wear someone else's name tag. If you're listening to this show right now, it's because you have experienced retail hell. The unoriginal bastard who thinks that because it doesn't scan, it must be free. The people that have no respect for a public restroom. The customers that think that they can come in and haggle like it's some kind of goddamn flea market. The corporate office that cuts payroll, raises tasks, and expects more sales. Oh, those things never happen. Bullshit. This is the Retail Rant Podcast, streaming directly to your ear holes in medium definition audio quality. Hey boys and girls, it's TRB, the Ranty Bastard, welcoming you to episode 46 of the Retail Rant Podcast. And I can't believe it either. It's almost been an entire year of ranty goodness, and I want to thank each and every one of you that's listened, subscribed, followed, interacted with the show in any way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for making this a much, much bigger success than I ever imagined it would be. So, I have to admit that a big part of my success has been due to the guests that have come on the show in the course of almost a year now. So, from everybody from Sean William Brown to At Retail Auto to Randy and HAB from Miserable Retail Slave and Couch Party, respectively. Everybody that has chimed in on this show has done a fantastic job. You guys have been amazing in your support. Just talking with you has been an absolute blast, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate every single one of you. And, I've been doing this almost a year, like I said, and never once have I really hawked anything other than the AccessoryGeeks.com ad that we ran a few months back, rather. And really, that was just kind of a test to see, could we even get a sponsor? Which was surprisingly a yes. But, that was all about cell phone accessories and earbuds and phone cases and all that stuff. All trivial material type stuff. No discredit to the sponsor, obviously. But I never have really been faced with a topic like I am now. And while I'm speaking of guests, quite a few of you, will remember the episodes with Seattle Amanda, her Twitter handle, of course, at Mandosaurus Rex. And she spent the better part of about 5 hours before editing on this show, sharing her take on the good old Retail Doctor's 50 pet peeves about retail employees, a.k.a. a crock of shit. Well, Seattle Amanda has come upon some tough times, mainly due to health. And I've never asked you guys that you had to do anything or told you to do something, because you know what? I get it. We're all in retail. We don't have a whole lot of money. But I'm going to change that up for this episode, just a little bit. And there's no way that I'm going to ask you all to donate $1,000. I know you don't have it. I don't have it. If I don't have it, there's no way in hell I can ask you to do it. But, so Amanda has been diagnosed starting back in, I believe it was December, with some, quite frankly, some pretty bad shit. And I have to admit, I feel that it's my duty, from having her as a guest and a friend, to put this out there and ask for your support. So she has been diagnosed with hypopituitarism, adrenal fatigue, and low growth hormone. Now, this chick is resilient, okay? She survived retail. She managed to get through it and get out, and I couldn't be happier for her from that aspect. But with these things that have hit her, it's made life pretty goddamn tough. And the only thing I ask is go to her Twitter, again, at Mandosaurus Rex, and look for the Razoo link, RAZOO.com. If you're not on Twitter and you're just a listener of the show, go to Razoo.com, look for Healthy is a Goal. I know anonymity is a big thing for me, and I'm going to just throw it out there because she's got it out there. Look for Healthy is a Goal by Amanda Rhodes, and kind of read up a little bit. Let it hit you however it's going to hit you. You know, whether it's, some of you are probably going to look at it and go, well, that sucks, and then close it out. And you know what? That's the reality of it. I get it. But for those of you that are able to and want to, I ask that you give her some help. Because as you read through, it'll really get you, that these three things basically wipe you out to the point where even in a non-retail job where, everybody that works in retail thinks that somebody's just sitting at a chair at a desk for 8 hours a day, going to the water cooler 5 times and drinking 8 cups of coffee. It's not always the case. And when you get hit with shit like this, you'd be lucky to make 2 trips to the bathroom, let alone 8 trips to the water cooler. So please support Seattle Amanda. Go to Razoo.com. Go to her Twitter. Check it out. Support her, even if it's an honest. Don't bullshit. We can all tell when somebody's trying to blow smoke up your ass. We've all dealt with customers. We know what it looks like. But even anywhere from a sincere message to any money that you can possibly help her with to help our friend stay above ground, because she's done a fantastic job of working the retail game and getting out and getting to a good place. And now, unfortunately, things that are well beyond her control stand a chance at taking that away from her. So support her. And I know this isn't even a rant, honestly. This is from the heart. And Amanda, we wish you the best. Every single buddy that has listened to, followed anything dealing with the retail rant, anybody listening to the episodes with you, we all wish you the absolute best of luck. And you will see a donation from TRB, and hopefully many more from other friends of the show. But one thing I will tell you is don't write a check, okay? Do it through the website, do it legit, but don't write a check. And you're asking, well, how the fuck does it matter how I pay TRB? Well, because checks, unfortunately, are the topic of the show this week. And I got to tell you, I absolutely hate the fact that my place of employment accepts checks, because they are the biggest pain in the ass when it comes to checking somebody out. And I say checking somebody out, yeah, I get it. Check is in there, sure, but it's an old phrase. When I ring someone through the register, the last thing I want to see is a bunch of digging and fiddle fucking inside of a purse, or somebody reaching into their back pocket and pulling out the old checkbook that has the ass crease in it. God damn it, here we go. Okay? Because let me tell you, when you write a check, and of course, assuming that you're one of the 3 people in America that can still properly fill out a fucking check, as soon as you start writing the date on that check, that should be proof enough to you that you are obsolete and that checkbook in your hand deserves to be burned. Okay? Because, God, they annoy the fuck out of me. They really do. Now, granted, I'm not a big fan of mobile apps all the time for paying. Granted, they're intuitive. They're okay. They're slowly being more willingly accepted in retail establishments. And I get it. The Apple Pay and Android Pay and all that, it's pretty secure. I mean, you've got to have a thumbprint on a phone. So I get it. Now, you write a check. Let me just say right off the bat, my natural assumption will be two things. A, you parked on the other side of the green line that's designated for asshole parking. And B, you are the reason that my Google Asshole app went off. Okay? Now, there's going to be a minor exception to this one, and it's the elder customers that we have. Because you know what? Older folks have written checks for 40, 50 years. They're not necessarily going to change their ways. They're not the ones that bother me, though. And it sounds bad to say it, but they're going to fucking die pretty soon, okay? They're not going to be writing checks a whole hell of a lot longer, all right? So, you know what? I tolerate it when it's the older lady. Everybody in line kind of looks at it. Okay, yeah, she's writing a check. But you know what? She's like 83, so fuck it. We'll let it go. When you get that 22-year-old that comes up and they want to write a check, you just have to scratch your head. You see you wrote 2016 in the top right corner, right? You realize you wrote that on a fucking check. And you fumbled past like 4 credit cards and 2 debit cards to get to that checkbook. Yeah, let's just put the fucking checkbook away. Just take it home and throw it in the goddamn fireplace, all right? We don't need it anymore. Oh, my God. Because most retailers will not accept a check anymore. And you may ask why. It's legal tender, right? Well, yeah, sure. It's legal tender, no problem. However, the main reason that most of these places are not going to take a check is because of fraud. Fraud? How could anybody fall for check fraud in this day and age? Well, I mean, come on. You get a dishonest employee, goes and that register opens up, and copies down a few account numbers and a routing number. Yeah, they can pretty much do whatever they want. And guess what? You're fucking broke afterwards. Oh, yeah. All they got to do is copy and paste some shit, and you are royally fucked. And most places won't take it simply because it takes too long to actually process for them to get physical money. It's like winning the lottery. Not that a check is ever that big, but like winning the lottery and seeing the money there. You have like the big fake blank check, but you're not getting paid for another 2 months. Like it's just bothersome. It's there. I know the money's there, but I can't touch it. And there's other you get these people coming in with pre-filled checks. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, my mom sent me down here to buy this stuff. Really? Okay, so your mom needs Sudafed and rubbing alcohol and whatever else is necessary to make a nice big old batch of meth in the fucking car. No, I highly doubt that. Plus, you're about 53, and I can tell you right now, that does not look like an 80-year-old woman's handwriting. It looks just like yours. I'm not fucking falling for it, okay? The other check gag, the traveler's check. Now, take a moment and think, when was the last time you saw a fucking traveler's check used? No way. And furthermore, a traveler's check is not needed in the United States, okay? It's not like a check from Colorado won't be fucking accepted in Maine, all right? Very simple. The banks are interconnected. They have this whole network thing. They use things like telecheck, which I'll get to that fucking pile of shit in a minute. But who in the fuck in their right mind is going to have a $500 traveler's check, an ID for your state, they want to buy $3 worth of gas? No, not falling for it. Hate to tell you. Another reason they don't take the checks, because they fucking bounce like a goddamn ball along some Mickey Mouse song, okay? A check will bounce, and let me just clarify. A lot of these people think I could write a check for $100 right now. And as long as I get to the bank and put that $100 in before the end of the day, it's all good. There's no way that check clears. Well, of course. But guess what? That's illegal. Writing a check for more than the funds that you have currently in that account is illegal. It's check fraud. Because especially in this day and age, again, everything is interconnected. You don't know when that check is going through. Especially if they run it through anything like telecheck or Check Connect or whatever they use. They run it through that. You can pretty much count that shit is going to be gone right away. Now, I say telecheck as a joke because you'll get a customer and they know that this scenario is what they're going to do. They're going to write a $250 check. There's $12 in their bank account. So as long as they get down to the bank and deposit that cash by the end of the day, it's good. Well, telecheck does the automated check agreement or whatever it is. Well, guess what? They tried to write a check for $250. There's not $250 in the account. Why in the fuck did telecheck let it go through? Why? Because guess what? Something's going to happen. They're going to go spend that $250. The check's going to bounce. It's going to come back to you, and now you're out the $250 and you're out $250 worth of merchandise. It's a fucking $500 loss in the end. Makes no fucking sense. Telecheck should go away because it should take checks with it right out the fucking door. Now, the other one that I get, and I've had this one many a time, is you write the check and then go to the next door and return it for cash scam. That one requires a drink of beer here. Ranty goodness. So, most companies will have a policy that says, hey, you can't return something that was written on a check for 10 days. It has to clear. Well, when we scan the receipt or we pull it up in the computer, guess what it doesn't tell us? It doesn't tell us if the fucking check cleared or not. So why in the fuck do we even allow them? Because here's what they'll do. And I've dealt with this many a times in many different formats. They go to store A, they buy $500 worth of shit. Could be one item, could be 50 items. They write a check. And then they will go right down the street to the next store. And because there's no credit card information on there, they'll kind of just smudge out where it says check. Maybe they'll muss the receipt up a little bit. They come in and I'd like to return all this. Oh, how'd you pay? I can't quite make it out. Oh, I pay cash. Huh, okay. The unknowing cashier gladly goes ahead, processes the return. Now, as the manager, that person has to come up and look at it. I mean, $500 in most retail establishments is a pretty big fucking deal. They look at it and, man, I can't really tell if it was cash or not. I don't see anything where it said change was given. You sure you didn't write a check? No, I paid cash. Okay, well, let me go ahead and call the other store just to verify because that's the only part of the fucking receipt that's not clear. And as soon as you pick up the phone, they're gathering up their shit and walking out the door. The only thing you can do at that point is call every other store in the area. Hey, they're trying to do this. Yeah, that one again. Yep, same old one. And I've seen these people. They go down for big dollar amounts on bad checks because they'll literally spend an entire day racking up tens of $1,000s in bad checks, returning them, getting the cash, and then, whatever they're buying, going to the ABC store, making a mortgage payment, rent payment, buying a car, whatever. But the whole time, the retailer, quite possibly the employee, they're out. They're out all because somebody knew how to scam with checks, which is a bunch of fucking bullshit. The other one I like is they come in with a check, and it could be their check, it could be, or appear to be their check even. It could be a check from mommy. It could be a third-party check. It could be a business check. Oh, the boss sent me down to pick up this stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to need an ID. Oh, it's in the car. Guess what? Just like Kaiser Soze, they were gone. Never see them again. Because the second you need to pin a face and a name to that check, they know the gig is up. They know it's gone, okay? And, another thing that'll get me is, and mind you, checks are still good for paying bills. I get that. Because sometimes, like I have one particular utility that their website looks like it was designed by some kind of Nigerian prince. Sorry. Don't really feel comfortable putting my credit card information on there. I've got a lot of stuff that's tied into that. I really don't need a fraudulent charge and have the lights go out because there wasn't enough money on it. Okay? I'll just write you a check. No problem. They have their place. But most people can't even fill them out. They can't even fill a fucking check out properly. It's something they should have learned in like 9th grade. A basic economics class. How to properly fill out a check. Furthermore, how to balance a checkbook, which is another point. every time I've had someone fill out a check in the last 3 months, they then decide that at the point of sale, immediately after after that transaction, guess what? That is the perfect time to balance my checkbook. And they might only be deducting the one check they wrote you. They might be catching up on the 15 other checks they've written that day. But it will always happen when you have 15 people in line, and it started off, you're moving right along, just ringing people out, getting them out the door. Hey, thanks, have a good day. Thanks, have a good day. And this person comes up, and it's like $5.28. Yeah, I'd like to write a check. Okay, let me tell you something first and foremost. If you are going to write a check for any reason, do me a favor and bring a fucking pen. You cannot borrow my pen and keep my pen every time you want to write a check, because you knew you were going to write the check. You knew the whole time. You were fully goddamn good and aware of it. But you left the pen in the car, just like your ID. Why? Why? Fuck, I can see why countries like Sweden and Norway don't allow checks anymore. I get it. Good rationale. I like it. The checks that don't get filled out properly, though, they could be a good source of humor. And of course, by properly, even all the way down to that little line you need to draw from, 200 and then over in the 00 fractional. You could get somebody that just writes 1,000 in there. Hey, we just made our sales for the month. Everybody go ahead and go home. That guy just bought $200,000 worth of shit. Go ahead, pack it up, turn the lights off, fuck it, we're out of here. Or just the grammatical errors. I had one not too long ago. Of course, 50 was spelled without the second F, so it was $50. And he actually wrote on there, and 53 cent. And filled the entire gap out. And I had to tell him, sir, I'm going to need you to rewrite that check. It's not properly filled out. I won't be able to accept it. What do you mean? What do you mean it's not properly filled out? Oh, God damn it. I feel a headache coming on. Well, you know what? Why don't I fill it out for you and you sign it, okay? Because this is going to make it a hell of a lot easier on me. God, these people can't even fill out a fucking check. It's amazing. And, when they want to balance that checkbook, I just want to smack them right then and there. Because they know there's people behind them. They know there's probably somewhere else they can bear down to fill out that fucking pad. No. Got to do it right then and there. Right then and there. So, on that note, we're going to close out this week. And we're going to close it out just like this. So when that person gets done with the transaction, and they then want to fill out their checkbook and balance everything down to the last penny, before you consider taking the check they just handed you and giving them paper cuts in between each and every one of their little fingers so that their hand hurts too much to write another check for the rest of the day, make sure you do us all one big favor and wear someone else's name tag.